Every Tuesday and every Thursday. Y'all
Hey,
tap in.
is this thing on? Can you hear me?
Roy
Is anybody
Anthony
out
Show
there?
is the spot to be, baby.
Hey, tune in.
It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. And it's featuring the homie Big Hank Christina Carter. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. And it's featuring the co-host Big Hank and Christina Carter. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. Everybody tune in, you dig it? It's funny as hell, my dude. It's when we can kick every Tuesday. Everything is going down. Thursday. They about to do the most. It ain't a confrontation, it's a conversation, homie. Yo, on the weekends, the Roy Anthony Show. It's during the week, homie. The Roy Anthony Show. What you listening to? The Roy Anthony Show. Come on and get a tap in before we gotta tap in. What you listening to? The Roy Anthony Show. Every Tuesday.
What it do? What it do? What it do? I'm Roy Anthony. Got my co-star in the house. What's up with you, Miss Christina? She's talking, doing something. She's talking on the side. I'm gonna let her nod to me when she's ready to come in. She got Miss Uniqueness in the background. Okay. What it do? What it do? What it do? I'm comedian Roy Anthony. Welcome to the Roy Anthony Show, where we pride ourselves on it's not a confrontation, it's a conversation. We're coming live from the Woe platform, which was created by my man Richard King, aka Redneck Pimp, and his beautiful wife Shelly. He just popped in. He said, "CEO, got you, man. CEO." That's a term with the Native American language, meaning that we say hello, and then we say Donna Day Ahoy. That means we're until I talk to you again and stuff. He can't stay too long and stuff because, glad when he can show up. It ain't always expecting him to always, because he does a lot for real. And the Woe Entertainment, which was created to bring intervention and our attention to how our veterans commit suicides. It's not just the veterans. We also have teenagers, and we call out conversations that could seem depressing. So Richie Redneck Pimp, aka Redneck Pimp, his beautiful wife, co-creator Goose, our associate producer Blue Phoenix and Ethan, and our sponsor Matthew Brooks, along with the BB Nation. My man John Porter said, "Hey Roy, great show Monday night." I appreciate that, John. Oh, look who's already in the house today. Look at my co-star. Hey,
Hey, listen, man,
come off early today.
listen, man, check this out. Listen, I gotta be on a Zoom call with some guys from Long Beach that's been impacted by the justice system. Okay. So it's justice impacted, and we on a Zoom call. We're gonna be on it for like 2 hours. Some heavy hitters from Long Beach, some other heavy hitters, man. So I'm gonna be on there, man. I just want to let you know I love you, man. Thank you, Roy.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
Love you too, man. I'm glad to represent that well, man.
Yes,
Anybody
sir.
who knows that he has to, you're going to take care of that, bro. I appreciate you.
Thank you, man.
You getting off right now?
Yeah, I'm gonna go on there, man.
Okay.
Well, it's supposed to start at 10, but I just, I didn't want to leave you hanging and let you didn't know what was
man.
going
You
on.
want to take care of that, man. That's more important. That's highly important.
Cass has been, we can talk about it. Cass has been impacted by the jail system, by the justice system.
Yeah, we'll talk about it Tuesday, man. And so I'm glad you brought that up. God bless you, man.
All right.
Hey, Big Hank is always about taking care of his work and stuff. And my other co-stars in Miss Christina Carter, Miss Uniqueness. How you doing?
Good. What's good?
All right.
My state manager is in the say he was gonna come hop on because I told him what the topic was today. So he up in the back.
Who's that?
My state manager for Tennessee Fleet.
Oh, okay, yes. That's this is him right here, CSM Storm.
Yeah, that's him.
Okay, we're gonna be bringing him in. Thank you, brother, for coming in. once again, I also want to address Monday nights. Man, Monday nights, what we have done is we created a format, and it's like a championship battle. We're going 12 rounds. Each Monday night is it was a round. The first round was Monday night. It was, you know how in boxes they fill each other out. And so we're doing classic old school rap versus old school rock. Now, old school to me, we're going from 2010 on back to where rock started, where rap started. But we was going toe to toe. And I'm gonna tell you something. There was a song that I listened to a couple of times called War Pigs. It was one of the requested songs, and all of a sudden it was songs going left and right. And this Monday night, if you anywhere, it's 8:30 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. in the Midwest. It's 9:30 p.m. to 11:30 p.m. in the East Coast, and of course it's 6:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. in the West Coast. And we're playing from signed to unsigned artists, rock versus rap, old school 2010 on. And I'm gonna have to give it, the first round was to the rock. This first round, we didn't get the heavy hitters on the lyricists, but I was impressed by some of the rock songs, and it's because this is representing the United States. Some people say, "Oh, I'm from this hood," or "I'm from that hood," and this and that. But you got the freedom that you have because of our military and the way our democracy is set up. Stacy said, "Hi, what's up, Stacy? Stacy, it's good to see you." We got a lot of people. I was getting a lot of comments, because I walk it like I talk it. Mr. Unique, as you know, when we bring in my man, Mr. Storm, when he comes in and stuff, because our topic this week has been one about the legalization of cannabis, marijuana, weed, where you want to break it down. Tuesday, we talk about the economic impact. And what trips me out, and I'm going to be honest with people, when I was a teenager, to get by, I used to sell nickel sacks. Now, a nickel sack is a $5 bag of weed. My objective was to be able to sell 4 or 5 bags of weed a day. Now that's $25. Now the risk was way higher than the rewards, because some of my compadres got caught with a nickel bag. They end up getting 1 to 2 as a minimum of years in the prison because of a nickel sack of weed. Now, I brought this up because last year, this guy in Los Angeles was complaining that out of his weed dispensary, he only made $11 million in the taxes. And I'm like, dude, I ain't never seen nobody in my neighborhood make $1 million, $1 million off of selling weed.
At all.
You made 11 million. You talk about that. And he looked like he was a bookkeeper. They say, don't be a slave to your culture. Listen to what you like. He said, I take 2, laugh out loud. That's the part that I'm saying.
Yeah.
I don't care who's really a hustler. I don't impress me. You can't impress me. I'm gonna be honest. You can't impress me like Mr. Fetty Wap. You can't impress me because you don't got 2 grams. You making money. And next thing you know, I'm hearing you taking fentanyl from Los Angeles, Chicago to New York.
Wow. You
want to hurt the black neighborhood because ain't no blacks made no rappers rich. We don't buy the albums. So you take your monies and you want to infect some drugs into the neighborhood. But when we bring up marijuana, and the worst ways you can control a bunch of black people is with these sermons they get once a week. But man, wait a minute, man. When my man Cam CSM, when he's ready to come in, tell him to put his hands up, give me a thumb up. I'm gonna bring him in. We want to welcome Ashley Rowland. That's what was said to me. I want to tell everybody hi. John, thank you for the comment. I'm telling you, Monday night was on point. and it's not no bias. You know what, I'm gonna tell everybody this. I really appreciate any artist that can get up and exemplify his talents. Whether you're a drummer, you're a guitarist, you're a singer, you're a comedian. When you can get up there and you can work with a group like a band, rock band playing and stuff. Hey, good morning, G. I see you, Greg Williams. And so we on this cannabis tip. I'm gonna have a great conversation. Is CSM ready? I seen his camera go out. You ready to come in, bro? He put a thumb up and stuff. Morning, man. What's up with you, man? How you doing, CSM? You got your mute on. You got to take your mute off.
Okay. I ain't know what was going on.
Okay, what you been working the night shift? You like you lean back on your.
I'm at work now.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
Man, you know what? See, that's the type of jobs that I would love to have, where I can just lay back and stuff, man, and chill back.
It ain't all the time.
Yeah, hey, as long as you alert that there's some danger and stuff. He look like
Oh, it ain't like that.
Okay, I'm with you, Sia. I got a joke with you, man. How you doing, bro?
All good.
What city you coming from, CSM?
Memphis, Tennessee.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Memphis, Tennessee, by the way of Mississippi.
Okay. Now, you know, I represent Long Beach and Kansas City, Kansas. I know Miss Uniqueness in Clarksdale, Mississippi.
Long Beach, California.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Represent the LBC. Our other co-star, he had to step out because we be really walking like we talking. We've been talking about charters. We talking about reform of this judicial system. This week we've been talking about this cannabis.
Okay.
Cannibal. One of the things that we have found out, CSM, and I want to hear your input on the economic tip. Most neighborhoods that sold cannabis, we used to have, I'm going to tell you, in Kansas City, Missouri, there's this particular spot for over 15 years. Police was always busting cats because it was a central spot for them to sell cannabis. But now, since they got the dispensaries going up, the dispensaries are being placed around the U.S. in central locations where Blacks and Latinos was known to buy the weed from this hotspot.
Right.
Now, you, me, Miss Uniqueness, anybody listening to, we're not naive. Even if you don't smoke, whatever, we're not naive on how the game goes. I have never met a millionaire weed seller. Well, this guy earlier this month was complaining about his dispensary in Los Angeles, how he had to pay so much taxes and he only cleared 11 million. Go ahead, see it. I want to hear it.
I mean, like, I got a partner in LA who own a couple of dispensaries. And he, man. And he don't have one of the bigger dispensaries. He got a smaller dispensary. He cleared about 3.5 million.
You see what I'm saying? It's not uncommon.
Mm-hmm.
Is your partner, is he Black?
Yep.
And man, and that's fortunate because they make it hard. You know what the application fee was to get a non-refundable CSM? You know how much that was? Just the application?
I'm pretty sure it was a penny, a nice penny.
Man, look here. In the 2018 ballot in California for cannabis to become recreational, it was stated on the ballot that it was going to help minorities because how much we've been imprisoned and jailed and reformed over because of marijuana.
Right.
Now these cats are in prison while some of the do rights, because the application fee, non-refundable is $25,000. That's not refundable. See,
non-refundable. Man.
Damn.
I can't even save up $2,500 to give to somebody talking about I will not get this back.
You know, I'm gonna have to find out. I'm gonna have to ask my partner. I'm gonna find out how much did he start off with. I'm gonna have to find it out.
Now I could have sold my soul. Now, please do. And I would like to hear this feedback because I had a law firm come to me with my group and tell us we'll take care of everything for you, but we need 10% for life.
Dang.
And I was like, 10% for life. I'm thinking 3 years because you helped me with at least about 100K.
Right.
I'm thinking 3 years. If I'm making it like you just said, your friend is making it in a year, you know, but they want 10% of life.
Yeah, I can't do
And
that.
if I die and I leave it to my family, they gonna still need that 10%.
Right.
Wait, my man Gregory, he's from Southern California. He said I tuned in right on time. We're talking cannabis today. I'm out here in Cherry Valley, California, straight out the LBC, doing my gardening now. Greenbacks have been my life. My mom raised us by selling. I'm growing as a second generation grower. Most not getting a million, but a few really getting major money. Now, you see what he said?
And that's true. Like usually that's how they start. You start as like you start growing in a garden. Cause I'm gonna tell you, and I was in Vallejo, man, it was crazy. And they was growing in a garden, man. I used to be out there in the garden. I'm going up and down the garden. So I'm having pick, cut, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to say it. I'm trying to do everything.
But see, that's the thing right there, sis. I want to get back to that point you just made. Dean Cerny, he said he has to switch to YouTube. Facebook was buffering too bad. Yeah, Facebook is always giving us some trips. They make us think I be having 30 people calling me. Oh man, I love the show, but the views only say 4. You know, but it is what it is because we're gonna be honest. He said it's 70K to open up dispensary out here, just the paperwork. They are sharks when they want to be your partner for life. True. That's what's going on. You feel me?
And my partner too. He ain't never lied about that one.
You know, look, you and I, we want to be legitimate people. So we know cannabis. So let's make a company. Well, how do I post that 70K? You know what it makes me think about when I was a kid, CSM, my grandfather, and Miss Uniqueness, my grandfather told me that when he was a little kid, his grandfather used to go fishing and hunting for the family. He said that one day while he's at the fish pond, the sheriff came up to him and told him he needs to pay $2 to have a fishing license. Mm-hmm. So he said $2, you know, they back in them times, where the world I'm gonna get $2 from? He said, well, old Farmer Ben has a farm that he needs some help, and he's willing to pay 25 cents a day. Mm-hmm. So he had to work 2 weeks just to get $2 so he can go fish. But when he goes down there to get the fishing license, they told him, oh, this is only good for 6 months. You're gonna have to do the same thing again.
Oh
no.
This is what it's taking for us to get a dispensary. 70K. I don't have no 70,000. John Sally do. Shaquille O'Neal's wife do. They opening up dispensaries.
Right.
Mike Tyson got 27 acres in Los Angeles, having parties every day.
You know what he doing? I ain't no telling.
But see, my thing is, isn't it funny how we can unionize together when it comes like I've been where everybody's all in harmony while we sharing blunts is going around. A blunt is going counterclockwise, the other one's going clockwise. We all on the same page. But we can't get on the same page to recognize the hypocrisy of money's being thrown away from us. We're the biggest consumers. Blacks are the biggest consumers. And we always about our fashions and stuff like that. We anybody don't know is that the Koreans And the Chinese women have been at war about hair because they said it's a $10 billion a year that they're actually mafia warring over hair that's being sold to the black women. You can look it up yourself. 10 billion a year they're fighting. Now, we on our cannabis thing. We got then what hinders our progress is that we have these so-called preachers. Oh, it's a sin. Oh, now since they made it legal, where's the sin?
They're gonna have to come up with something else.
My man said, he said, I've grown 1 million, but I don't own the land. The water ain't free. The restrictions and regulations are killing folks. Licensing and other regulations is how they keep us out and kicked out, locked out the game. Most can't afford to pay to play. We've been doing it, but they will do anything to stop us from getting it big. We can get it, but we usually won't stack and invest together. We are getting robbed on all levels. You know what? Look, I'm gonna be honest with you. Okay.
Yeah.
In the history of the U.S., and I can't blame my white neighbors, CSM, Miss Uniqueness. I can't blame them. I blame ourselves. One, here it is. Every time we look up, we talk about band together. You can't band together to own something like this when the churches is telling a group of people, oh, God is frowning down on this. And God said, everything I grow, I want to bring this up. Speak anytime you want to, bro. I'm listening to you, CSM.
Yeah, and that's true, man. It's just a lot. But you have so many people that think you're I guess what it is so many people they kind of like judge you. So especially in the church.
But let me say this to you, CSM. How can they? This is what I tell people. For one, we'll say judge me, but there's nothing that they can put you in. I've been judged by a judge. Look, I went for something like a ticket. We got into an argument. He told me contempt of court and it held me for 2 hours. I wasn't expected to be doing those 2 hours, but you understand what I'm saying? He judged me because of my mouth. Someone looking at you of your character. Now, I base it on the word. Right here it shows, and out of the ground made the Lord God to grow every tree that is pleasant to the sight and good for food. The tree of life also in the midst of the garden, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Now that's where the serpent tricked them, thinking that they were going to have everlasting life, but he tricked them into eating from the tree of knowledge.
Yeah.
That's how they knew that they was naked. But every fruit. Now, I want to bring this up. Cannabis has long been identified as an entheogen, a plant that can expand one's consciousness and assist in spiritual growth. So I said, well, what's an entheogen? Well, I found out that an entheogen, let me bring it up. Well, I didn't put it in. An entheogen is a plant that works with your subconscious to get you out your basic focus of what you see in your natural eyes. How can you open up your third eye if you lack faith? You understand where I'm coming from, CSM? Help me out, bro. I know you right there. I see it.
Yeah, and that's true, cause like when you using marijuana and the things of that nature, like sometimes that's like a stimulant. It'll stimulate your mind, so it'll take you to places.
Okay.
It'll take you to different places, and you just see something else. You just see something else after something.
I'm with you.
Gas fare to get it, because I be in another
Say it
zone.
again, Miss Uniqueness. I didn't hear you.
It's free on gas. You don't have to use gas when you're smoking weed. You don't have to pay for that high ass gas. You be in everywhere in the world. You ain't even got to travel far.
Oh, you saying that you just floating subconsciously, you don't need to go. But look.
Yep.
I don't know if y'all are old enough to remember pre-crack era. 1985 on till
I was just born in 85 now.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. Okay, and you CSM?
Yeah, 85.
Okay, so when y'all 1 and 2, the crack is coming in. So your mindset is growing up with the crack pandemic is in.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have the history of the late 70s till pre-crack came out in 86. There was a unity. People was having fun. When the hip hop was started, cats couldn't afford instruments. So they would play the records and alter the records. That's how DJing started. The hip hop era. A lot of people don't know. There's people, when I was a kid, there was a dude named Blowfly. To me, he was a rapper. Dean, wait a minute, Dean Surdy crazy. He said, only place weed ever took me was the refrigerator.
I'm not even play with you, Dean, at all.
But it's helped. Look here. I remember a time when cats from the era before crack, they had a big problem with Alzheimer, whatever, where older people was forgetting and rheumatism, where their arthritis in their arms and stuff like that. Kids were suffering from epilepsy.
Man, they smoke a little weed, they gonna be all right.
That's what's going on right now. Since my mother is an RN, them little kids that has cancer and stuff, they give them a THC pill.
And gummies. They got some gummies too.
Kids that has epileptic, okay, when I was a kid, they would say if one of your classmates is having a seizure and stuff, they having an epileptic seizure, you got to get a spoon and keep them from swallowing their tongue. Yeah. I'm too horrified seeing somebody with that because I experienced it. Kid was clenching their teeth and shaking. I didn't like, what the hell's wrong with him? I didn't think to get a spoon. The teacher run over, I had a plastic spoon trying to keep him from swallowing his tongue. Well, they found that THC mellows that where these kids doesn't have epileptic seizures. Now, let's get to a point of what the subject is. Yes. Then tell me it's in why is liquor and cigarettes legal and not cannabis?
I think it's a whole total reason why nicotine out here. It's something about that nicotine.
But nicotine is added to tobacco.
Right, but it was right, but the way it is, I'm looking at it like that tobacco was put here for a reason. The nicotine was put here for a reason.
Well, to my understanding, is that the cigarette cornered up the market. See, there was a time in our U.S. history that all drugs was legal. The cowboys used to get hyped up on, I was hear that they would hit heroin and cocaine and get so faded that they come and start shooting up in the air.
Right. Yeah. But now it's all about the money now.
And thank you. That's the key answer. Who controls the money?
We sure don't.
Well, in a way we do, because see, this is where I'm saying about us blacks. We're 80% of the consumers.
Right. And see, and the thing is, when I say we don't control the money, we have to get the money to do something with the money.
That makes sense.
Let me ask you something, CSM. That statement you just said, do you find yourself working with other people like-minded and y'all put your money in together in a pool to create something?
Yeah, but you can't do that with everybody.
Straight facts, right there.
Boy, he just touched my spirit.
You want to shout there, huh?
But because, see, this is what this is about. Our platform is a conversation, CSM. It's not about a conversation, it's a conversation. We pride ourselves on you speaking your mind. We're adults in here. Most kids should be in school at this time. We're having a conversation. If I was down there in Memphis and having a drink or smoking something with you or whatever, we could have a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
The Native Americans had it right when they had the peace pipes, which I found out was cannabis. You break your inhibitions.
Yeah.
I want to read. I try to get to our comments. If I don't get to them right off when y'all write them, I will get to them. My man Gregory said, Roy, my dad want to grow sweet potatoes, but don't want to let me grow on the same land, and I won't invest in his own. He won't invest in his own son. I'm one of the best, and you're right. He talks like God don't agree with me growing cannabis. The tree of knowledge is cannabis, my brother. The church is definitely helping to bring a black eye. Cannabis fuels the mind, body, and soul. And y'all can go back on the show, read this out, because there's other ones. Ashley, she said, hi, hey, what's up, Ashley? Roland, Gregory said liquor and alcohol are part of the structural vices, but that slowly kill and make you sick. Okay. Then started opium. That's what it was. The cowboys used to take opium.
The opium pandemic. Oh Lord.
Data said it right. He said bottom line is always about the money. Ashley said, what's up? What's up, Ashley?
Hey, Ashley.
It's definitely about the money, because they want to control everything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When we try to get a little control, they want to make us disappear.
Now, when you say they, who are you referring to?
The people, for the people.
Man, see, look here. Sam ain't never met someone like me. He like, boy, that man caught me off guard. No, I said, because let me tell you something. My white neighbors, I love my white neighbors. I love my blacks.
People, I be damned.
Now, what I do is, if we act like let's say all three of us acted as we're real justice. Justice is always blindfolded. If you hear something and you don't know the description of the person, see it's him and Miss Uniqueness, your eyes is blinded and you hear the story, you point to the guilty person. It doesn't matter if they black, white, or Latino. Now, some of the things what we do is we don't conversate. So next thing you know, my white neighbors have a perception of us because of the media. We have a reception of some white folks because of what we've seen in How to Kill a Mockingbird, and we see these movies. You feel what I'm saying? Right. And we tend to do the same thing. And what our platform is about is bringing these conversations together. We need to talk about the marijuana because, like you said, church people will make you feel guilty. You want to go to church because Big Mama invited you to come to church and you trying to feel family and emotion, but you go up here and you feeling guilty.
Right. Let me piggyback off something you said.
Yeah.
The whole world is when you said about things are based on this and based on that. Well, I feel like the whole world is based off perception.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. You're absolutely right. But see, that's where we make ourselves different. You recognize. How do you fix a problem? It's recognizing there is one.
Mm-hmm.
Right within ourselves.
Right.
You got to recognize. Somebody else can look at you. They say every time they happen to see you by happenstance, you got a drink in your hand. First thing their perception is, oh, he's wrong.
Yep. They perceive things wrong.
There it is. Let me tell you something. I was shacking up with a girl one time back in the days. My grandmother's still alive. I'm shacking with this girl and we playing house, right? But every time I'm praying on something, because I have faith in God, ain't nothing coming together, right? And I go to my grandmother. I said, what's wrong? Every time I'm praying and what should be right is going wrong. And she told me one thing. She said, God blesses a married bed, baby. Now,
okay.
And then she said, don't let your good be spoken evil of.
That's deep.
So when she said that, from that moment on, if I go to church and somebody, I stand in and say, I'm gonna go up for prayer, and they grab me by my head and like, I knock their hand off because I don't know what you're saying. Don't come up, grab my forehead, talking about hasa. You may be saying, I really don't like this motherfucker's appearance, so I hope a horn grow out of his head and everything he have, he loses.
God damn.
Because he don't know me good enough to want to wish the best for me. You just said it yourself, CSM. You said it's not too many people you can trust.
Right.
Oh, I'm gonna trust this guy who I don't understand what he's saying, but he
But you know what? It be the ones that right under you, that close to you, they're gonna talk under you.
Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
True.
So that leads me to what? I find every man a lying God the truth.
Right. I don't trust
me if I'm wrong, CSM. Sometimes we so emotional, we look at who is giving us the advice, but not looking at is that advice really good for me? Because the Lord said, try the spirit to see if it's the spirit of me. He is not an author of confusion. God ain't gonna tell somebody else to tell you how to do your life.
Right. I was just about to say that. Now he gonna tell a complete stranger about me, and when he could have ran that by me. That's how I feel. I could be wrong, but I was like, he didn't just told you some stuff about me, don't know nothing about me.
But you would feel it in your heart if it was true. If it was right. Your spirit to say, oh man, that's a confirmation.
Right.
Yep.
Because God is not an author of confusion.
Right. And sometimes we be put in situations because we lose focus.
That's true.
Exactly. See, we need to figure out, okay, Greg, you said it's it's the facts giving permission. You can come together and make a lucrative amount of money. Without them, they regulate the system and maintain who can get that kind of money. I kind of agree with that because I think it's the states that are legalizing that don't want the federal to legalize it, because when the federal gets involved, there's regulations set up now.
Yep.
The state is taking 45 to 50%. They're making up their own amount. If the federal comes in, that 50% is coming down. Dean said the Chinese imported opium and open opium dens in the Old West. That's what Curly Bill Brocious was doing before he killed Sheriff Fred White in Tombstone. Yeah, they were sitting up here getting high. And they got two guns. That's why they came up with what we call charters. Yes. We had that before I go into that, Damon said they fear what they do not know. Exactly.
That's true.
He also said they don't know what they're saying either. Let me tell you something. This is what he's saying. Look at us. Who talks to more? His camera went off. When he comes back on, I'm gonna bring him up. Who talks to more, especially the minorities, once a week? The churches.
Yeah.
Now everybody know I'm not a Democrat, Republican. I'm a free American, but I cannot stand when I see Democrats constantly coming up with how to give out money, but never come up with programs on how to make money. I'm gonna say this again, see if y'all understand. I'm not Democratic or Republican. I can be swayed. I'm a free American. That's what it says on my ballot. When the Democratic paperwork came out for the vote for 2016, it had former President Barack Obama, his wife, and the kids in the front of it. Mm-hmm. When we read these, they tell you what to vote for and what not to vote for. Well, I had to throw it in the trash because their main thing was saying no to legalization of cannabis. I threw it away because you're not telling me how we can make money. Now, with being a civil designer and a hustler, I make more money with Republicans in office.
You know what? That's crazy, because I was just having the conversation with somebody. When the Republican was in office, man, it was money out here for real.
Yes.
But then so when them Democrats get in office, it's a whole problem.
And man, people think Oh, Roy must like President Joe Biden. I respect that because as every citizen of America should respect who's in office. That's what we voted for. Public spoke. But I have a problem when I know that President Joe Biden was the architect of the crime bill that allows so many blacks and Latinos and rednecks go to prison. But yet you want to give programs to the single mothers. If you let the men out of prison, who should be in there.
That's too much like right there.
Yeah.
Like they was talking about, look, I respect Governor Abbott of Texas. I don't know his personality, but I just know that he's a man of his word. He's dealing with a conflict with down there at the border where at first they was fighting with the Mexicans, why Trump was supposed to be building a wall and all this stuff. Well, actually, no, Ukraine is fighting, and we got 100,000 Ukrainians trying to come over to America at the same border of the Mexicans.
Yep.
Governor Abbott said, you know what? I'm going to bust y'all to Washington, D.C. and let them figure it out. Now, my thing is, people say, well, where these people stay? Take our fellow Americans out of these private sanctuary prisons. Let these people stay in there. Just don't close the cell. You ain't in jail, but we got a place for you and stuff. And the state can accommodate them instead of people like Kansas and Texas that's illegalizing marijuana. You constantly finding some way to send someone for an misdemeanor. It's going to be eventually an infraction. CSM, yeah. You said you from Mississippi and Memphis now, right?
Mm-hmm.
You dealt with brothers in the streets and all that. Have you ever remember cats getting a misdemeanor going to prison? Now the past 5 to 10 years, it is. You know why?
I work in law enforcement too. So I kind of know, like, kind of. I don't do it.
But you know what I'm talking about. Now, right. I understand that there's a bad side. We deal with a lot of some police officers and those, like, I got some police officers and told me that they feel it a shame. Like, okay, one of our grandest guys, Commander, he's a retired police officer. He said he had to pull his gun twice. One, because the guy was wielding a machete at him. And he still didn't shoot him. I said, man, that man would have had 8 type of holes in his chest. He had a machete. But he said, this is what Dean said. Dean said, personally, I don't care who you vote for as long as you do your own research and go vote. Learn about the candidates and walk in there educated about them. That's a good point. Taylor said, you can only give so much, legalize it all across the board. So much money could be put to good use. We're totally into that. Greg said that, he said, you 100% correct. They're giving it away to foreigners, war funds, and rich, but won't find a way to invest in citizens to be able to make money. They want to rely on them. Trump never fucked up my money, but Biden is coming hard. But who pays for them? Taylor said, but who pays for them if that was to happen? See, this is my point. Now I'm gonna break something real serious to y'all. I'm a civil designer. So when the recession was happening, remember recession 2008? They tried to blame it on former President Bush because of this unwarranted war in Kuwait when we should have went straight to what's his name? The guy who with the airplanes 9/11. Okay. Mm-hmm. So I'm a civil designer, CSM. There was no projects because the government wasn't giving no monies. Well, in the past, since 2013-14, some states recognized through this recession, if we legalize marijuana, it'll help us industrially. Well, next you know, I'm getting calls left and right. Companies got where is money coming from?
Right.
Talking on the side, talking about ever since the state of California legalized marijuana, we got so much surplus money to build on our freeways and stuff.
Yeah.
That's what they said. Now Joe Biden signed a $2 trillion infrastructure for fixing up the roadways and the bridges and stuff like that. Each state is allocated to that. But that's why I say this. But let me explain this. You said it. It doesn't make a difference because you said you into law enforcement and all that. You seem to be a reasonable person. CSM. Let me ask you this. How many people have you seen arrested for having about let's say a half an ounce of weed?
Man, to be honest with you, we really don't. They really don't get arrested no more for having some like a half ounce of weed or something like that. They get a misdemeanor. Keep going. Cause really, it's useless. Everybody gonna do it anyway. Like and then, like you gotta think about it. It getting legalized everywhere else.
But see, when it's not now, to my understanding, I did some research about Memphis. Only why Tennessee hasn't went legal is because
the Bible Belt.
Well, Memphis is also predominantly y'all old school money. Your old money is basically around blacks. There's a lot of control in Memphis by the blacks.
A lot of
Nashville is counter to that. Okay, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna share something real quick because it's not just about the cannabis. I've been using that as our focus point. There's a town in Memphis. I think it's called Monroe or Monty or something like that. There's a small town. There's over 1,200 people there, and they're not too far from that. Huh? What'd you say?
Not in Memphis.
No, not Memphis. It's Tennessee because they're not too far from Nashville.
Oh, okay.
It's a little city. What happened is the little city is predominantly it's all white, all blacks, but their city council was all white. And in 2018 and 19, everybody in this little city, the government boards or whatever, they all had to retire because of fraud and embezzlement because of the state of Tennessee was allocating them, you know how they give each city monies to operate with, and they was embezzling the money. So they all had to retire without going to prison for fraud. Well, the little town gets together and they send a proposal to Ford, and Ford agrees to their proposal for a $9.2 billion electric car plant to be built 15 minutes from the town because they had the land and everything, right? Mm-hmm. Now let you set you up though. When the selective Senate had to retire early because of the fraud cases, the state of Tennessee stopped allocating money to this little town. So they really impoverished, right? But they get together and they write a proposal to Ford, and Ford said, okay. Soon as it was agreed upon, the state controller now wants to take the charter away from these people and give it to Nashville so Nashville can run that money for that new plant. Now Ford is saying, hey, I brought that up because once again, it's the same scenario of keeping control of the monies. If you're doing well, somebody help me. If I'm wrong, you tell me. If I'm wrong, it's him. You know better than I do.
No, see what happened? Like down here in this town called Mason, Tennessee. Mason, Tennessee is not too far from Memphis. It's a little small town. A lot of predominantly black in that town.
Yeah.
So what happened was the state going in to take over the town.
That's what I'm talking about. What's the name of that town?
It's Mason, Tennessee.
Yeah, that's it. Mason, Tennessee. That's it. That's the one. Am I telling the truth about what's going on?
Oh yeah, the state finna take over for sure.
Because of the $9.5 billion car thing being built there. And these people, look, the state controllers stop giving them money.
Yeah. So what the state said, this what they said. Well, y'all can't manage y'all money right, we're gonna come in and manage it for y'all.
But see, it was their own constituents that wasn't managed. See, if you look it up, the people, the city council were white people that didn't. Not saying my white friends and all that, but there's some white people that was running the Senate. They was all embezzling. Matter of fact, they all should be facing cases. But there was some type of agreement that if you all resign right now, you won't face a case. The whole council resigned. They had some blacks that didn't even know nothing about politics sitting on the board. Now, the state ain't helped them with no money in 3 or 4 years. They on their own. Instead of being discouraged, they said, we're going to write our own proposal to Ford. Now Ford allocated, said, okay. Matter of fact, Ford is speaking up about, like, if y'all going to do this, we don't know if we're going to bring our plan. Because they want to control that $9 billion instead of letting them people. Ain't helped them. And this is the part we're talking about, y'all. When you're telling me, and it ain't just about, because ACSM last week, and I'm still being shook up about it. They just came out with the poll that 600 minorities has been killed by random traffic stops since 2017.
That sound about right.
600 over. And I asked this question. I asked anybody this question. Have you ever been to traffic court? And have you ever seen the judge sending somebody to death row for a traffic infrastructure? Driving with suspended license, tags, headlight out, backlight out. Have you ever seen that? It's him. You into law enforcement. Have you ever seen a judge?
Not that.
600 murders. They had the Ukraine war where they shot this bomb into Kyiv at a train station. They talked about 12 was dead and everything. The first thing they started saying, especially Americans, oh, they need to be tried for war crimes. 600 traffic stops ends up in murder. Not resisting arrest, not all that fighting back. And I'm like, my question is, who are you stopping? El Chapo?
Right.
What is this, the movie SWAT? When you stopping if I'm an international fiend, I'd be the last person gonna stop. You had to catch me on this speed chase. I'm about to be like Evil Knievel. Who's gonna stop to think you're gonna get killed? So when you talk about putting the strengths, so here's something that is marijuana has helped, but it's not as controlled. But we respect the pharmaceutical companies. You ask the church people, oh man, I got high blood pressure. Lord's gonna take me away from that, but he told me don't be foolish. My doctor gave me these pills to take. So it's supposed to work on your high blood pressure, but now all of a sudden you got something wrong with your umalaba gaba.
Yeah, that's what they call it.
That's what they call it. But they said, look, they was laughing at me too. See, talking about my look, you ain't never had a pain nowhere. All of a sudden, you got a pain right up under your left armpit, and you're like, man, what the world is that pain? Oh, your husamasa is messed up. We're gonna give you this pill, and it's gonna take down the inflammation of your husamasa. But now all of a sudden, I can't have a bowel movement.
I forgot the name you said, but that shit was so. Oh my God!
Think about it. We take pharmaceutical drugs and say, "Hey, we preach to that. We preach to that."
But have you listened to the side effects to a drug? You take this drug, you'll have heart failure, your lungs, and then you
Miss Uniqueness, you said, look, I seen them commercials. You're like, yes, erythritol, and you take erythritol, you may experience dizziness. They say it real fast. It's like about 20 different things.
Yeah, they fast forward it so you can hear all that shit at one time. You don't understand the first part. Yeah, that part.
Next thing you know, you got a messy cabinet of all types of pills. Dude was telling me, I remember I just had to take this pill for my high blood pressure. Now I got to take this Diligent because I can't seem to waste it. It kills the Diligence. Well, this one is keeping my kidneys from flaring up. Like, man, what the world?
You can see. At first you can see, now you can't hear.
Why in the world I can grow and eat collard greens and mustard greens that's grown and cabbage that's grown and corn is grown, but all of a sudden cannabis is like, Did you know the pharmaceutical companies are the ones that tell you to cut your dandelions when dandelions is the best tea to help clear all the unregulated toxins in your body? A lot of people don't know that. They tell you to get rid of your dandelions, but dandelion tea is the best detoxant for your body.
Have you ever seen like the white neighbor stores have all that sweet stuff in their stores, like Kool-Aid pickles and stuff like that? If you go into one of them other stores like that, you won't find all that stuff like the potato chips and all that stuff. And I just so happened to go in another store that was in another area based on the hood store. The hood store got all kind of stuff in it. But when you go to the other store, it doesn't.
You saying that it satisfies the cultural range, which is kind of like being biased. I said that too. I go to the Phillips 66 that's ran by the Eastern Indians. I go over to theirs, and you know, I go to the regular white neighborhood and I pump my gas and it's all smelling nice in there. I go to the black one, they got fried chicken and potato wedges at the counter. Yeah. Talking about, man, I'm like, man, for one, I don't eat at a gas station, homie. Two, how you gonna ring up my money and stuff and then reach over? I don't care if you're getting prongs or nothing like that. It's a stereotype.
Yeah, I know.
Dean said, yeah, he got the infrastructure bill talking about Biden passed, but they can't get the materials to fix the infrastructure because he's trying to kill the oil industry. Asphalt contains oil. And that's the point. And I'm gonna tell you something. And all this comes to it. We're giving out so much money to these people. I'm gonna tell you, that's why I voted, and I wish that he was on the ballot. In 2016, I wrote in Bernie Sanders. I'll be honest with you. I didn't vote for Trump. I didn't vote for, definitely weren't voting for the Clinton lady. I wasn't into that. I did write in Bernie Sanders because he had an idea. He's first one who stated, let's legalize marijuana.
Oh, that was something.
Because it helps you with the infrastructure. Everybody ain't smart like CSM and intelligence. Some people has a low mentality, so you got to get them to work. What work? Drugs ain't never been forced upon no one to take. Drugs sell themselves. Doctors make millions of dollars off of gazebos, and that ain't nothing but a sugar tablet. We listen, and before we get off here, and ACSM, I want to tell you thank you, man. Is there social media sites we can see you from or go to?
Yeah, you can go ahead and say who you are and what you represent, Storm.
Actually, I'm DJ Storm. I got a radio station called Power 99 The Mix. I got a TV network, Indie Nation TV on the Roku network. So I got a whole network on there. And then where I'm at Power 99 The Mix Radio all day, every day. That's where I'm at.
Yeah, I'm gonna check it out, man. And your Roku station, is it for national or is it just within your particular carrying area?
If you got a Roku, you can download it on the Roku app.
Okay. Could you state again one more time, because our show is videotaped, so people can always go back to Facebook and YouTube. Can you state it one more time?
Yep, it's Indie Nation TV, like independent, but it's indie.
Okay.
TV, and we cater to like independent films, independent talk shows,
independent videos. It's just like a Netflix. You know how Netflix you can go watch anything?
Yes.
On my
Yes.
network, you can go watch anything.
I can shoot you some of my content, right? Because this it's
More
more than Roy Anthony.
Yep.
And because I love stuff like this. Now I want to tell everybody, you see how we're all talking? This is a conversation. We're not doing a show. I got on a t-shirt. We CSM laid back, chill back. Big Hank is doing, he will been in, everybody knows that Big Hank is doing something. We walk like a talk it. They actually on a Zoom talking about these reforms that we need to have. Illinois with having all the killings that they supposed to have are exonerating over 15,000 people who's convicted over marijuana charges because the state have made it legal. Every state has been legal needs to follow under Illinois. And so then they say, hey, because now you got more people can work at Amazon. You got more people wants to buy stuff. But we got to stop being hypocritical to ourselves. Stop thinking that the preacher has all the answers. God has the answers. Ask him what you want to do and stuff, and he'll give it to you. If you have an idea, he gives you the thoughts. People without a vision will perish. I can't stand when I hear someone say, especially a preacher, you know how to make God laugh, tell me your plan. That is nothing but from the gates of hell, because God said anything that you want to do, you do it. Just if you have aught with anybody, to forgive them so he can forgive you and then give you anything you ask. That's what it says. But if you got somebody you listen to who don't really have that push, but trying to write a good sermon so how he can move the crowd and get tax-free money, but don't have no substance into the life of the people.
Right.
God don't come into a building. Jesus said, you knock this building down, I build it up in 3 days. He's not talking about a structure. He's talking about this body.
Right.
You know, don't fear no man, because he can only destroy your body. Fear God, who can destroy your body and soul. I just keep it 100. I'm just not a tambourine player. I'm not going to pass the basket around. I try to get something that's going to help me, and that way I can be productive in my life's livelihood, right? Before we get off, Gregory that said there are the masters of misinformation and making sure they want you to know how or be able to make yourself healthy. And please go back and look at it. Before I do, let me add this. We have a lot of people, and we ask if you pay attention to the Roy Anthony show on a podcast Monday nights, if you see the stand-up, but for us to advance more with our show, we be asking our listeners, anybody, if you can give donations. No, we're just talking about the church. It's not a church. We do use it righteously. We got co-stars that they had their families. Please, you can give the contributions to Roy Anthony Show donations through Cash App, $ Roy Anthony 562, or Zelle, royanthony.wmg@gmail.com. That way we can really press the news, because we have people like our co-star Christina, who is a true warrior, who's a mother of 6 kids. And she's constantly doing this. And so what we try to do is these funds go to the right way. We're not spending and driving Rolls Royce. If I seen her driving a Rolls Royce, I'm like, girl, I'm paying you too much. I bet you're hoping that she be in a Rolls Royce, but right now we probably need to ride that Toyota Datsun 1987. But anyway. But anyway, hey, I want to tell you once again, CSM.
Before we go, I would like to invite everyone to our 11th annual Fleet DJ Music Conference, which is in Jacksonville, Florida, July the 14th through the 18th. Be there. We got tastemakers, bloggers, photographers, DJs, whole lot of stuff going on there. Yeah. So I just want to extend that invitation out.
Say it again one more time, and we have another lady, DJ. Well, I don't know if it was lady.
What's her name?
I just seen the top of the head, but DJ Quiet Storm. I just want to make sure. Yeah. Hey, what's up, bro? I could only see the top of your head, and I was like, I didn't know.
Yeah, I got my phone like that. Hey, what's going on, y'all? Y'all good?
Hey, how you doing, man?
Thank you, Quiet Storm.
We were just about to let the show go, and stuff, man. But I saw you in the back. We go for an hour from 10 from 11 to 12. But no, 12 to 1. I'm begging my pardon. I'm still on Cali time. How you doing, bro? Give a shout out to you and give you a social and stuff, man, before we start heading out.
Everything good, man. I'm just with Fleet DJs. What I'm going on, uniqueness. You
Hey.
jumping on? I seen the link and figured I'd jump on and see what y'all got going on.
Yeah, I appreciate that. But we were just inviting everybody to the Fleet 11th annual Fleet DJ Music Conference in Jacksonville, Florida, on the 14th of July through the 18th. So it's a lot of things going on there, and I'll put the link up next week, so we'll have it on there.
And I don't know if this uniqueness shared with y'all. You know, we have a lot of followers. We do a musical show every Monday night, and one of the things that I had told her that I'm with her working with Fleet DJs that I would also play some of your artists because we play signed and unsigned. And right now we're doing a battle. We in a 12-round battle. We went first round. Classic rock versus classic rap, 2010 on prior. So this coming Monday night, 8:30 to 10:30. What was you about to say? Something, DJ Quiet Storm?
No, well, I'm just not in agreement.
No, what's your social media sites so we can be able to check you out too?
All right, on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok is I am DJ Quiet Storm, and then Facebook is just my DJ Quiet Storm 901.
Okay. Hey, what city are you coming from?
Yeah, I'm in Memphis, Tennessee.
Okay. So, you and DJ Storm know each other?
Yeah, I know Storm.
We with Tennessee Fleet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Man, I'm looking forward to coming down there because I was coming down there a lot, and a brother never told me. I didn't know y'all played dominoes. And I was coming down there, and nobody's like, I guess these cats don't play no bones because they call me Abdullah the Domino Ruler. So he waits till I get back to Los Angeles.
I'm gonna whoop you then.
Wait a minute, you see what I'm saying? I've been working with Miss Uniqueness for years. I didn't think I played bones down there.
I'm gonna show you something.
And so the homie calls me from Memphis, DJ Tyrone. He calls me and said, "Hey man, I've been down there 3 or 4 times, and nobody ain't said nothing to me about no bones." They just telling me don't put your jewelry up in your car when you go to the club because somebody's watching. They break in your car. They was telling me that type of stuff, but ain't nobody. So I wait till I get to Long Beach. He say, "Man, I wish you knew how to play bones." What? I didn't think y'all did. So I'm coming down there specifically to see DJ Quiet Storm, DJ Storm, Miss Uniqueness, and DJ Tyrone. I'm about to put some whoopings on these folks. In these
I'm gonna make a special trip. I'm coming. I want to see this.
Don't have no excuses. I'm gonna buy the food and everything. Y'all point to me the right barbecue spot. Remy Martin and Stella Artois what I drink. We're gonna sit there and then I'm gonna just laugh at the different people that gets up and leave back and forth.
From the whoopings that you think
from the
whoopings on somebody. Okay.
Hey man. Hey, you're welcome to come back to us Tuesday. We'll be back on Tuesday. We would love.
I gotta run.
Okay,
all
yes.
Right, Storm. I get with you.
God bless you, bro.
All right, Storm. Appreciate
DJ Storm. We're about to end this. Hey man, you always welcome, man. And there's some stuff since you told me you're in the law enforcement. It is very necessary for us. Sometimes we need to hear from one of our black officers.
Oh yeah,
for real. I listen. We have some other people who's on our podcast that are in the law enforcement, and I always tell people, "Hey, thank you, man." He says, "Stay blessed, people," and
thank you, Gregory.
I appreciate that. Look, we need conversations, Storm. And you know that, DJ Storm. Mm-hmm. Some people are misinformed. We had before I get out, we had one of our shows was about the charters. And in the charter, as I do a lot of research, it shows that police can stop people if they look suspicious to them and stuff like that. There are certain things that they have to be able to do. Now, I want to get to where we hear from your point of view. One of these days, man, if you set me up and say, Roy, I want to do a whole thing, talk with you about it, I'm putting it down on it. Is that cool with you?
Yeah.
And we're not, we're not against this. It's never a confrontation. It's a conversation. And
Right.
we pride ourselves on that, man. God bless you and your family, man. And you have a blessed weekend.
All right. Thank you. Do the same as well.
All right, man.
All right. Appreciate you.
And you stay safe, man. Keep them streets safe.
Okay. Appreciate it.
All right, for sure. Miss Uniqueness, got love for you. Everybody pray for Big Hank. Big Hank is always doing words for the Lord. He's doing some work right now about these reforms, prison reforms, and I really appreciate him doing that. Y'all keep us in your prayers. I'm out of here, Miss Uniqueness.
I just appreciate. I enjoy my folks coming on here, popping in.
Oh yeah, you're a superstar.
Yes,
for real. God bless you, sugar. Appreciate it.
Every Tuesday and every Thursday. Y'all tap in. Is this thing on? Can you hear me?